Hi, it's Steph. Thanks for clicking. This is my fourth update for Clue Special Panning Edition Round 3. This is the Pantastic Ladies project that I created based on the game and the movie Clue. You take 3 suspects, 3 weapons, and 3 rooms each month. Once you pick your product for the prompt, you roll a pair of dice and the dice tells you your usage goal. Once you have met that goal, you get to take that thing and put it in your 3-part guess. You put it in the Pantastic Ladies group, and then I will look at it and determine if you were right or wrong by comparing it to my secret spreadsheet. And assuming you are wrong, I will eliminate one of the wrong parts for you. By process of elimination, you will eventually solve the crime, and the game does not end until you solve it. Over the last month, I was working on 3 suspects, 2 weapons, and 3 rooms. My first suspect that I was working on was a rollover. That was Mrs. Peacock. She is represented by something blue. I picked this Ardensian Monster Manuka Honey Enriched Pigment in the shade Peacock. It's more of a teal, but teal is a blue type shade, and it's called Peacock. As of the last update, I had 3 of the 4 uses that were dictated by the dice, and I did get the 1 more use, so I did meet goal on Mrs. Peacock. I do like this product. It is kind of dark. I like it in the outer half of my eye whenever I use it, but it is very pretty and I enjoy using it. My next suspect was Colonel Mustard. He just rolled in last time and he is something yellow. This is my Lime Crime Electric Slide eyeshadow and brush stick in the shade Mega. It is a yellow shadow stick. I had a goal to use this 8 times and so far I've used it 5 times, so I have not met my goal on Colonel Mustard. I just have 3 uses to go. I will finish him up next time. He goes very well with a palette that I have in Throwback 30 as well as a palette that I have in this project, and we'll talk about it later, but I still have 3 uses to go. And my last suspect that I was working on is Mr. Green. He is of course something green. This is my KVD Super Pomade in the shade Power Green. I had a goal of using this just 4 times and I got them all in the 1 month, so I have finished this. And I really like this product. There is a dip in there, which I'm very proud of because there's a lot of product in here. I really enjoyed using it as a liner lately. I did use it as a cream shadow 1 of those 4 times, but as a liner has been my favorite way most recently, and I really enjoy this one too. Now we're into the weapons, and there were 2 of them that I have updates for. The first of which is the lead pipe, which is something matte. I was using this eyeshadow quad, and by the time I submitted my guesses, I had not met goal on this, but in my last update I was wearing it for the 6th and final time. So this is a goal met and eligibility guess for this time, but I didn't have it met in time for the last update, which was fine because I had plenty of weapons anyway and it didn't really matter. But this is now an eligible guess for the lead pipe. The other weapon was the rope, and that is a hair care product. I picked this Olaplex No. 7 bonding oil sample, and it's a sample, but hair oil just goes a really long way. You only need a little bit of it, and I only had a goal to use this 4 times, which I did. So goal met on this hair oil for the rope. It's a hair oil just like any other, honestly. I don't really think it's any different or special compared to any others, but I have no problems using the sample. Now we're into the rooms, and I was working on 3 of those. The first one's been in here since the intro, and that is the library. For the library, you can pick anything, but you have to tell a story about it, and if you've forgotten, you can go back to my intro and listen to the story because I'm not repeating it. But what I brought in was a white nail polish. This is the Pacifica Plant Magic Polish, and I had a goal of using this 10 times, which is what took so long. At the last update, I had 7 uses, and I did get the other 3. My nails are neither white nor black, so I have moved on to other nail polishes. This is actually on my toes right now. In the last month, I did 1 pedicure and 2 manicures with this. In the total 10 uses, 2 of them were pedicures, the rest were manicures. But in any case, this is now a goal met. It is now down to there, so it is about half gone at this point, and it is rolling out of the project. I don't particularly care for this formula. It is a bit streaky, and I'm just not all that crazy about it. And then there's also a flaw with the bottle. I can't even get this open because it's glued itself shut. The top of the threads tilts outward, which means that whenever you have polish on the rim of the bottle, it flows into the threads, and so it tends to seal itself shut with the dried polish. So that's a problem because it's a battle to get this open every time you try to use it, and I would not buy any more from this line. The next prompt was also a rollover, and that was the study. That's a product that has scientific terminology in the name. These are the Dr. Teal's Epsom salts in prebiotic lemon balm. I don't really know what prebiotic is. I know what probiotic is, but clearly they're trying to sell this to you by advertising that it is medically sound. So this is what I went with. The dice told me to use it 6 times. At the last update I had 4 uses. I did use it the other 2 times, and both those times were in my foot bath. So that was how I used it the other 2 times. They work just like other bath salts. They smell like lemon. It's a nice summer scent, but these are now a gourmet. My last room was the kitchen, and the kitchen always needs to be cleaned. This is my Ace Beauté Serenity palette, and because the packaging is black, it shows dirt a lot and always needs to be cleaned. My dice told me to use this 7 times, and I did that. I made 7 looks with this palette. I don't think I know Pan Left Behind did this, actually. I think there's a couple shades that I didn't use, but I did use the palette as a whole on 7 different days. So this is a gourmet. It is a nice palette. It's not my usual color story, but the shadows are nice. The mattes are pretty blendable. There's only 2 shimmers in here, but those work pretty well too. So this is a rollout as well. In summary, what I now have is 2 suspects that I met goals on, Mrs. Peacock and Mr. Green. I actually have goals met on 5 different weapons. There's the 2 that I met goal on, and there were 3 others that I had filed that I met goal on previously, and then I met goal on 3 different rooms. So I have 2 suspects, 5 weapons, and 3 rooms. I can make 2 guesses because I only have 2 suspects. This game can't really work if you know your own solution. So Taru of Cruelty Free Panner is very kindly keeping mine a secret for me so that I can play. And so I asked her if it could have been Mrs. Peacock with the candlestick in the study, and Taru told me that it could not have been in the study, so I can eliminate the study as my crime scene. I also asked Taru if it could have been Mr. Green with the knife in the kitchen, and Taru told me that it was not Mr. Green, so he's innocent. Now that I have my new evidence, it is time to figure out how to refocus my investigation, and so I need to start by picking my suspects. I've already eliminated 2 suspects. I know that it's not Mrs. White or Mr. Green. That leaves me with 4 to pick from. I'm already working on Colonel Mustard, so I'm bringing in 2 more. The first suspect I decided to bring in is Miss Scarlet. She is something red. This is the Fenty Beauty Gloss Bomb Heat in the shade Hot Cherry. It is a red lip gloss. I rolled my dice, and I'm starting off strong by rolling a 12. So I have 12 uses on this lip gloss for Miss Scarlet. Hopefully I do better with this product in this project than I did when I had it in Acopay. The other suspect I'm going to bring in is Professor Plum. He is something purple. He was in here once before and didn't get eliminated. I'm bringing in my purple lip crayon. It doesn't have a name on it anymore because the writing all rubbed off. It's some kind of drugstore product. I rolled the dice and they told me to use it 8 times, so I will use this crayon 8 times for Plum. Now we're on to the weapons. There are 6 total weapons and I've only eliminated 1 of them so far. I know that it's not the wrench, and I've met goals on 3 others. So the only weapons that make sense to bring in are the 2 that I just guessed and were not eliminated. So the first one is going to be the candlestick. The candlestick is something you display. I have a little lipstick caddy that sits on my dresser, and I put my lipsticks in it, so my lipsticks are on display. One of those is this L'Oreal Color Riche in the shade Montmartre. I probably didn't say that right, but it's a pretty shade and I really like it. And I rolled the dice and they told me to use this 9 times, so I have 9 uses on this lipstick for the candlestick. The other weapon that I just guessed is the knife, and the knife is something that betrayed you. This is my Lancome Dual Finish Foundation in the shade Claire 2. It's a powder foundation. It comes with this puff, and I wasn't able to get the puff to work, so I gave up and started using a brush. So it betrayed me by misleading me with this puff. I'm getting close to pan on this, but my goal is just to use it 5 times, so that's pretty easy, and I'm sure I can do it for next time. That brings us to the rooms. So far, I've eliminated 2 of the 9 rooms. I know that Mr. Body was not killed in either the lounge or the study, and I did meet my goal on all 3 of the rooms that I was working on, so I am bringing in 3 more. The first room I'm going to bring in is the hall, and that is a product that made a good first impression, and it's quite old now, but it continues to make a good impression. This is the Lord & Berry Silk Casual Kohl Liner in the shade White. I had this in here for the haul earlier, and it was not eliminated when I guessed it, so it is back. And the dice told me to use this 7 times, so I have 7 uses on the white eyeliner. The next room has actually not been in this project yet. I haven't checked there, and that would be the dining room, and that's a food-related product. I am bringing in my Beauty Crop PBJ Smoothie Stick in the shade Guava Nice Day. Smoothies are food, PB&J is food, guava is food, lots of food. And the dice told me to just use this twice. So that should be really easy. 2 uses on the lip crayon for the dining room. And for my last room, I'm just going to bring back the kitchen, which is still a product that needs cleaned all the time. And my Ace Beauté Serenity palette still needs cleaned. This time the dice told me to use it 6 times, so 1 less than last time. Since I used it 7 times last month, 6 times this month shouldn't be all that hard. So we're going to see if I can do that. So there's my update. It's going to be my suspects over the next month that are going to be tricky. I only have 3 more uses on the yellow shadow stick for Colonel Mustard, so that should be pretty easy. I did roll high on both Miss Scarlet and Professor Plum. I'm going to see if I can meet goal on Plum as well. Wish me luck with that. As for the weapons and rooms, I'm not as worried about meeting goals there. I'm sure I'll have at least 1 guess next time, and I'm hoping for 2. Wish me luck, good luck with your projects, and I will see you next month. Bye!